today we'll talk about flight. The benefits of flight is that it teaches proper execution of the spinal extension movement. It isolates the upper thoracic muscles, which is kind of that mid-back area. And you're using those muscles whenever you do perform spinal extension. Fundamentals are subtle, they're powerful, they're a teaching tool, they help you undo compensation patterns and to replace it with a more efficient movement pattern. The main reasons and why I like fundamentals is that you work on your own individual needs. You learn to honor then why your shape might look different from someone else's shape, because we're all built a little differently. Helps you to identify and strengthen any weakness in the movement chain. It helps to enhance movement quality. It helps you to strengthen your own technique and performance in movement. Remember, we're about sustainability. I want you to practice well into your 90s. It teaches you to refine specific aspects of an exercise. It teaches that primary biomechanics, and it helps you refine specific aspects. And then I think this is my last one, connecting mind, body, and breath before you start a movement. This one is prone, which means we'll be lying down on our belly. The other fundamentals that we've done so far have been on the back. But this one will be prone, so let's go ahead and lie face down. Okay, while you're lying face down, when I first start to lay down, I like to curl my toe under and kind of create that length through the hip joint, just to kind of smooth out my tissue. And then you can rest your head, your forehead on the mat, your arms long at your side, palms facing up. I'm going to have my head turned so that I can see you and connect with you on the video. So the first thing that you want to have happen is, also if I talk into my mat, you might not hear me as well. But the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to move through the shoulders. So you'll lift your shoulders up to your ears and then towards the ceiling and glide the shoulders back as if your fingers are reaching to your heels. So now that I've explained that, I'll role model it for you. All right, so you can see the first one I did, my body wanted to go right into what it naturally does, which is lift the head, but my cue that I had given was not for that head lift to start. It was simply to feel how the shoulder blade moves and the shoulder moves on the body there. All right, so once you have the shoulder blades, kind of that mid-back area engaged, then you can sorry, my throat's getting dry from talking so much today. Your head will barely lift off of the mat, and some of the breastbone might come up as well. But it's important to think that the head and neck aren't doing all the heavy lifting. It's that mid-back where the shoulder blades are, that mid-thoracic spine that's doing the work. So sometimes I think we forget about that area having movement and being the heavy lifter of it. The other thing that I want to say too is the abdominal muscles are touching the mat. Our abdominal flesh is touching the mat. The front side of the body is stretching, the back side of the body is working, but what we aren't doing is pushing the belly into the mat. I hope that makes sense. You still want there to be length there rather than a bulge out. All right, so let's go ahead and see what that looks like. so that's an example of what you could practice there. You could build up to doing 10 of those. Okay, so now I want to add another variation where we'll add rotation of the arm and allow the scapula to depress. And that'll bring your palms towards the floor, and it'll open the anterior upper torso more fully for you. So that's the reason to do that.
When you're in this position, you're creating so much length from the head to the tail.
It's as if you are soaring through the air. And I hope that as you're layering these fundamentals together, you're beginning to soar through developing and appreciating how you refine your movement patterns. It's a great opportunity to slow down, to give yourself that gift, to really hone in and deepen your practice. Thanks for staying with me.